High five. High five.
High five.
Good energy. Here we go. We're coming in 3, 2, 1. Yo, welcome. Oh, shit. Hey, you're right. Yo. Hey, welcome back to the Brotherly Love podcast. We are here today with yours truly,
Adam Green.
And today we have special guest, Mr. Jaxon Tippet. Jaxon Tippet, how are you, bro?
Thank you, sir, for having me on. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, I'm pretty honoured to come on, man. And first time I've been at your facility. I know we've been back and forth for like probably 2 years now. When I was back in Noosa, I was like, oh, I'll come down and do a speak. But I know for a fact now that once I've actually come in here and I've seen it and I've kind of, after this podcast even, you know, getting to know each other more, I'm definitely going to come here more regularly. Yeah. I think it's just something I needed to like break. Do you know what I mean?
You needed to feel
the
place first.
But coming in here, I wanted to say this on the podcast. This is crazy, this facility. Like it's so, I'm going to say it like this, it's so grungy, as you said. Like it's so old school. But even when I was walking in the toilets, it's so clean. So it's so weird. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so like, you expect it to be like, it's like an old school grungy gym, but it's like so clean. And it's like the best of both. Like, I love it. Like, it's literally my vibe.
That's, I think, what we're going for. We're tidy, clean people, but we like that old school, like, get in, grimy kind of feel of, you know, the gyms, which is always what we've envisioned.
Get in, and at the end of the day, like, women, like Tyron, for example, he holds our yoga, which is men's only yoga. We call it broga. And he says, so when it's men's only, he says, we're men here, we fart, we do these things, and so he'll be up the front, do a big stretch and do a little bit of a fart. And it's just like, but it's just like, it's setting the tone and it's allowing like men that it's like, I can be myself.
It's okay.
I can be myself. Yeah.
And I think that's what you need when you, not only, obviously this is mainly a gym, but that's what you need when you walk into a gym. You need to feel confident. You need to feel yourself. And I feel so many people out there, there's like, I have so many females contact me, mainly females. I don't feel right in the gym. I feel too scared, or it doesn't suit me, or the weights are too big. And you need a gym that just allows you to just be yourself. And I feel like that's what you've pretty much accommodated for. So it's good.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, and even when you're touching on women and how they feel in a gym, and Joe showed me this thing yesterday about like women putting on TikTok and stuff like this, like check out this perv at the gym who's like checking me out, and like kind of shaming men on social media and using their platforms to like shame men for like being in the gym. And sometimes you can acknowledge a good-looking woman. That's like, it should be a compliment in the sense of like, oh, I find you attractive, like, and I'll acknowledge that. It doesn't mean I'm going to act on it.
Yeah.
But they were like getting on their phones and like saying, look at this creep, look at him checking me out and stuff. And some of these guys were coming up and saying, hey, I can see you struggling with that weight. Do you need a hand with that? Would you like assistance there? Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, like, no, I'm fine, thank you. And it's an interesting topic to go around, but yeah.
It almost comes back to like judging a book by its cover. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I'm a spitting example of that, you know what I mean? Like I had this dude come up to me before in the gym and he's like, he's a massive fan of me, but he's like, he see me day in, day out, every day at the gym. Yeah. And he never come up, but he come up today and he's like, he was literally like shaking, bro. And I was like I was just so chilled. Like, and he was just like, wow, I never thought you would actually give me the time of day to actually say something. He's like, I've been so scared to come up to you for months. I see you in there every day. And then I was like, bro, like I gave him a hug and like he's kind of settled down. I'm like, do you want to train like next week? And he was like, what? And I was just like, it's just crazy, man. Like I'm just a normal human. Just because I'm covered in some artwork and whatever it may be, doesn't mean I'm different to you. And I think that's what society needs to realize is you need to talk to someone or get to know them before you judge someone. 100%. Like, it's just bad, man. I see it all the time. And I'm not going to lie, I've done it myself. We've all done it. We all judge people, but we should do it to a less degree. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone looks different. Everyone's different shapes, sizes, forms, but you never know what's going on behind someone, like behind their demons, or you know what I mean? Someone can be happy to you, but they can be depressed as hell inside. And I think you just got to treat everyone with kindness and respect, whether you think they look good or don't look good or whatever it may be. So, yeah, I'm big on that.
Yeah.
And it's always like with that situation with the guy, he would have been so scared and built it up. It's all like the story you tell yourself in your head.
Yeah.
All you need to do is start the conversation. That's what we're always trying to do, is just start a conversation, because it's like the same with so many things. People are so scared to, ask for something at work or go talk to that girl they think is pretty because they're scared of a million different outcomes, but you'll never know until you do it. And that guy probably a million times over made the conversation in his head, thought about what he said, but he'll never know the outcome until he just went up and said, "Hey bro, how you doing?" Now he gets to train with you. Like, how cool is that he actually took action, started the conversation and got an outcome that's favorable to him. Like, it just takes a quick.
He's creating a positive feedback loop. I'm like,
action,
hey, I can actually I'm going to do this more often. Because you received permission, and you received it with like you said, kindness.
Yeah, I think that's like everyone in life though. Like they're so scared to take a risk, or they're so scared of what if I fail, and it's like, fuck that off. Like, stop being scared. Like, you should embrace it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love taking risks now because I'm like, 9 times out of 10, it pays off because I back myself and I know I'm going to keep chipping away at it. But the risks lead to rewards. And if I didn't do anything risk-wise and I was just comfortable every single day, there's no way I'd be doing this. There's no way I'd be impacting lives. And I feel like majority of people out there that aren't happy and they want to, they look up to these people. They want to excel or do something different or get out of where they're living, their hometown. Just take a fucking risk. You know what I mean? You need to do it. And 9 times out of 10 will pay off. If it doesn't, go back to the drawing board and take another stab in the dark. And that's why failure is so good. I actually embrace it because it's so cool. If you fail, you go back to the drawing board until you get over the line. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even like failure. Like, it's good. Like, it's a lesson. You've literally learned something you didn't know yesterday. You tried it. It didn't work. You can go back and retry it. It's those things that people they're so scared of failure because they're held at such like high thing, like such a high level of fear towards failure. But as soon as you do it, like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
Could you imagine if you never failed in life? How fucking boring it would be? Do you know what I mean? Could you imagine if you went and trained every day and every set was just like endless? Like you didn't fail because I love it when I fail in the gym because it's like, okay, it just makes you
edge.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like people should embrace failure, and I feel like it's the complete opposite in society right now.
100%.
Everyone's, and where do you believe, like, when you're saying everyone at the moment is stagnated to a degree or not willing to meet their potential or not willing, and through meeting your potential, you are accepting and you're acknowledging, you will come up against failure.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
100%. Failure is totally okay. That's the message I think we're trying to push. It's okay to fail, because like people are so scared to get uncomfortable. That the whole like world right now is like, oh no, it's okay, like be alright, like you're okay. People are so scared to fail because they've been nurtured a lot. I think the world's very scared to offend, scared to push themselves, push the boundary. But like, you need to push, you need to find your edge, you need to fall off it a few times to find out where it is.
Also scared of, what does that person think of me? Which comes back to judgment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Scared of, like, what do they think? Like, at the end of the day, they're not going to be there for you in, 50 years' time. So stop basing, all your life decisions off someone else's fucking opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's true. Just live the life you want, because really, you're the only one that's going to be there for you. Even your family, they're going to be gone. Do you know what I mean? You're the only one. You're your only best. You are your best investment. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's true. Like, too many people try and impress other people. I did it for years, and it's like, any of those people that I'm DMing on IG, like, around Australia, like, are they really going to be there for me? Like, no. Like, they're not. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying don't talk to people and don't, like, try and make people inspired or whatever it may be, but you just have to focus on yourself, because there's not many people that are truly going to be there for you.
Yeah. And some people could say, oh, that's ego, it's stepping on arrogance. It's like, no. You have to prioritize yourself as number one in order to be able to look after those around you, as my belief. Can I jump in as well? And I'm going to take a little bit of a switch as well.
Yeah.
like we haven't spoken much on who you are yet, and so I mean I can give a little bit of a background, but then I'd love for you to elaborate in areas as well, because so you're quite an influential man in terms of social media and stuff like this as well. You're talking about IG and DMs and stuff. You've had a successful modelling career, and you even said before you came here you just went into the shoot and stuff like this. And that's sort of what I want to link in as well. And you've also had an experience with like drugs and steroids and in the gym and stuff like this as well.
Yeah.
And you're saying that past life of yours hasn't really served you. It hasn't served you in order for you to continue to, now that you're aware that, oh, this isn't the life I want to continue, but it has served you in the sense of your future self now, where you sit and you're like so comfortable and embodied in where you are.
Yeah.
Is there anything more you'd like to elaborate on that within your journey?
No, I just believe everything in life happens for a reason, and like you can't. I'm so blessed, and people would say if someone lived the life I lived, people would say, "Oh, I regret steroids. I regret treating my family like that. I regret this. I actually don't regret any of it, and I mean that to like a T, because I literally would not. I don't even know what I'd be doing if I did not start injecting steroids in my body. And this is not sitting here saying, now go inject because that could turn out a great future for you. But it turned out the future because I actually learned from my mistakes and I turned my life around, and now I'm trying to help people. All of my past has made me literally pretty much what I'm doing today. Do you know what I mean? So I'm blessed that I went through it, because otherwise, if I didn't go through that, 7 years ago, I'd probably be on gear right now. I'd probably be doing drugs. I'd probably be hanging around those people still. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's cool. Like I'm very grateful that I went through it and I moved on. So
such a great mindset to have. Like a lot of people live in their past forever, live in regret.
Yeah.
But if you just understand that. Like, you said it perfectly. Like, if you didn't do that, you wouldn't be living the life you have today, and you enjoy and love your life now. So that had to come, so you get to where you are now. So it's a good way to live. You feel, I suppose.
yeah,
It's and if I may, because I've done the odd modelling thing as well, and so and that was kind of a breakthrough point for me, because when we're talking about judgment and stuff like that, it's like when I actually got out of my own way, stopped giving a fuck about what other people thought of me, and just trusted in my journey and pursued what I wanted for myself, which was, I'm going to give this a crack because I don't want to go, because I'm willing to fail, and I don't want to go on the ground with regret. I'd rather learn the mistake, go, hey, this is for me, this isn't for me, and find my own way rather than, navigate my own way rather than having other people say, hey, no, you can't go this way.
Yeah.
It's like I'll decide whether that feels good for me, bruv.
And that's what everyone listening should do. Yeah. They should, whatever you truly feel inside in your gut, whether one of your closest friends disagrees with that, go chase it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it can be anything. Like you should have no fear of judgment and just do what you truly want to do in life, because we've only got one life. And we don't know how long we're gonna be here for. Do you know what I mean? It's true. Like I woke up this morning and I was like I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for. So why don't I truly just enjoy every day? Do you know what I mean? I think too many people are just hard on themselves, and they're just all about money and financial issues and all of this, but then they truly don't even just enjoy the now. Do you know what I mean? It's all about like stress and bills, and it's like, well, if you die tomorrow, does it matter what was in your bank account? Do you know what I mean? If you didn't, you would have just rather enjoyed your last day. Do you know what I mean? So and obviously we need to, structure in, the fact we need to live and all of that. But I think you need to bring it back to the point that happiness and enjoying your actual life is the key. That's all it is. It's, you know what I mean? I have so many mates that they earn not much money. Some are jobless. They're the happiest people ever. Do you know what I mean? They just enjoy life. So,
and can I ask, like, what are they doing in their life? Like, when you're saying they're enjoying their lives and they're jobless and stuff like that, like, where do they find their joy, or where do they receive their happiness?
Doing what they love, simple things. Yeah. Like I've got a mate that's I'd say like a hippie, and he literally No, like straight up. Like what'd you say?
I said we're hippies.
We're a little bit hippie.
He cruises around in his van. He has fuck all expenses. He plays his guitar at like whatever you call it at night and makes a little bit of money to get through with his food. But majority of the day, he's just like, he does, meditation, breath work in the morning. He travels around and sees amazing scenery, and he just does what he enjoys. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not saying that's for everyone, but I'm just saying, like, just fucking do what you want in life. Like, straight up.
Definitely. I feel like there's a balance that you got to have.
Yeah.
Definitely a balance, because you could do that.
Balance is a strong word.
Love to. It's just very powerful. I'm not sure if there ever is balance, but there's to and fro. There's push and pull. But I would love to live a life like that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. But then at the same time, I want to create some kind of legacy and family and keep the name strong. Keep like my sons and daughters in a place where they have opportunity too. So it's always torn between, just go live off the world and just like travel with a backpack, or grind now, build something that my future family, my wife and kids of the future can just live a happy life. So you got to find that enjoyment in what you're doing. That's creating this abundance. You got to find enjoyment in it. So I can have a happy life every single day, whilst that includes, grinding, hustling, and doing all the good things. Because if I was just to live in a backpack and in a van, I would never create like a family, which would probably be like the biggest fulfillment for me. But then if I work too hard to try and make that, I might not have the time for them.
But see, that just comes back to what fulfills you.
Yeah.
So what fulfills me is different to him and her, but I'm the exact same as you. Like, I'm in the process now where I just want to grind. I want to set everything up. I don't want to be slaving when I'm 40. Do you know what I mean? I want to have a family. I want to be still earning income, but I want to be, stress-free, all of this. Whereas the old me was like the opposite. I was just like living day to day, and I didn't think about the future. But eventually one day I'd have to wake up to myself and change the way I was living. So do you know what I mean? Like, it's just what you want to do.
Do you want to go into that as well, if we may? Like, when you're saying you were living day to day, not thinking about your future or anything, like, what is that like? That sort of paints a picture for me as like a I want to say like a party boy or something, or was it? Was it lifestyle?
Yeah, I've gone through different stages, but not party. I don't know how to explain it. I was a completely different person. I just didn't care about anyone. I'm being straight up.
Thank you for your honesty.
Didn't care about anyone. All I cared about was my image. That was the only thing. So like, if I walk down the street and your head turns, that's a win for me, because I know that you think I'm top shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally how I thought. It was crazy, man. I treated my parents like shit. I treated everyone like shit because everything was just me. I was so selfish, but selfish in the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? And I had no ambition. I had no drive. I was jobless for years. I would wake up, I would inject steroids, I would go to the gym, I would then punish myself and go do cardio, and then I would just, chase those likes and those comments on Instagram, and that was my hit. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to work on my body, and then I'm going to upload something, and then I'm going to see what love I get back, and if I don't get the love that I feel like I wanted, I'm going to inject more steroids and I'm going to go to the gym harder. And it grew like every single day. Started off small, but over the five to 7 years, it grew to the point where it was so obsessive that, it got me caught with steroids. It got me kicked out of my house, so close to going to jail, so close to losing my life due to health-related issues. And all for what? Some abs and veins. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. You know what I mean, though? Like, it's true. Like, I can still maintain a nice image, but be a completely different person.
Yeah. And how do you find your fulfillment?
Bro, it's 0 to 100. Like, it's just completely different. I can't explain. Yeah. Like, and drugs affect, like, I don't want to bash steroids because I still have clients on steroids, but they do it. It's more the way you use something. Do you know what I mean? And it's also, it comes back to balance. So I like to say this, like if we had one beer every night for the rest of our lives, we'd be probably sweet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like even though it's alcohol and it's a drug, we'd be sweet. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10. But if we sat here and we go, okay, we're going to have a bottle of vodka or a carton every single night for the rest of our lives, I guarantee you health-related issues are going to come up. I guarantee your mindset's going to change. It's going to react, your chemical reaction is going to change. And that's what I'm saying is I abuse steroids and it come with a cost. But you know what I mean? It all comes back to balance. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like everything's a life experience though. And this is why I'm trying to speak through my years and just help people. Do you know what I mean? And you're always going to get haters. Like I have people and they're like, oh, you still train and you still got mates that are on gear and now you're bashing it. And I'm not bashing it. I'm giving my advice and I'm trying to help people that, because there's a lot of people out there listening right now that suffer body image and they're like, oh, I just want to get bigger. And they do use steroids and then they get addicted like me. And I want to maybe spread this message that if you're at that stage where I was just starting out, this should maybe help you to go, okay, don't go that step further. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't need it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It sounds like the person that you were when you were walking down the street and someone would turn their head and look from, and that would add to your inner fulfillment. And then when you were scrolling Instagram and you were receiving likes and you were looking for love from outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like that's, and then now you're saying that you're what's filling your cup now is speaking your truth on how you were back then, because you realize, hey, that did not work for me.
Yeah.
And I do not advise that you take this path.
Yeah.
Alex Hormozi talks about it when he says like an ex-snow is out in his territory on the ice, and he can spot this slipperiest ice because it's his territory. He's walked there, you know what I mean? And then he has a young naive SEO come along or someone like us who's just, that's not their territory. And they walk in and he says, hey, don't stand on that ice, that's the slipperiest ice.
Yeah.
And there's a part of them that wants to find out themselves, or are they going to take the advice and listen to you and go, you know what? Maybe I'm not willing to get injured on that ice. Maybe I will go around it, So
yeah.
I feel like that's where you come as a mentor there.
Yeah, explain 100%. Like my fulfillment now is literally when someone gives me a positive feedback or testimonial. Obviously I still do my coaching and my model in that, but the podcast, when I say we release this episode and someone replies and they're like, hey bro, like you made me realize that I actually don't need to take steroids. And when I receive that message, that is my drug now. Like, cause I'm just like, I feel like I maybe just saved someone's life, or I maybe just saved years off a life that he didn't want to live anyway. Do you know what I mean? And that's like where I get my fulfillment now. And it's so good because I do so many podcasts and I'm putting out so much so much content. I'm pretty much getting it on a day-to-day basis. So I'm getting my drug every day. Do you know what I mean? So people say, why do you do so much of this? And it's like, well, I just love it. I love helping people. So yeah, it's crazy, man, how like you switch your whole life around to getting fulfillment from an outsource, technology, the fakeness. You know what I mean? It means nothing. And now but social media is toxic, man, and we can cover that. It's very toxic. Do you know what I mean?
Do you still think, because when you first started in the old life, you were getting that you're getting your love from externally? It's still kind of external where other people are saying, hey, you've really helped me, but now it's greater than yourself. Like initially it was, you were seeing people like loving you for your image. Now it's they're loving you for your message. Do you feel like it's greater than yourself?
That's powerful. Yeah. That's so true. It's literally like I you still get the old compliment of like your physical.
Of course, you still look great. You look great.
But what I'm trying to say is like, that doesn't boost me nowhere near as like something that I've done to someone or I've said or I've helped, or, at the end of the day, it's all just about being kind. And it's just, it's so much better fulfillment than, you look so good like that. Like that's still good, but I think people need to realize that's not everything. Do you know what I mean? It's not everything in life.
Base your happiness on.
No. Like, at the end of the day, if I walk out of here today and we never talk again and I treat you like shit, but I come in, I look amazing, I treat you like shit, and I leave, you're not going to remember me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just going to be like, oh, he was that arrogant dude that was jacked. But if I come in here, I don't care what I look like, fat, skinny, whatever it is, but I treat you with such respect and kindness, and then I leave here and I never see you again, I've basically left like a legacy and a print on you that, oh, this is that guy, that Jaxon, like he's an incredible man, like, and you talk highly of me, and that's what I want. Do you know what I mean? Because that's, yeah.
I've known you for a long time now, I think. It's been a fair few years. And what I noticed, the biggest change is you're no longer taking, you're now giving. So when I first met you, it was all kind of like, I want something. Now it's like, I want to give. So that's kind of the biggest switch I've seen is you're still selfish in terms of looking after yourself, but you want to give to the world rather than take from the world.
Did we first meet at Culture Kings?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's when I was writing it all.
Yeah.
So like I used to, you would have seen me. I would have used to get my ex to pay for all my clothes. And then I think I even used to contact you and I was like, can you give me some vintage stuff?
Yeah.
But now it's like, and this comes with life experiences. Now, say you still, I don't know if you have the vintage brand or not.
Nah, sold
say
that
you
off.
still had it, the new me would be like, I would literally buy a shirt and then I'd be like, I'd show respect and then maybe you'd send me one. But the old me was just like, can you just throw me a shirt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy how life changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
And in life, like I don't know, I did a podcast with Rue McKenzie as well, and he talked about like hitting the bus. You know what I mean? It's like, where was that turning point for you where like shit came crashing down, or suddenly like the universe is just like presenting opportunities for you to make a change in your life which you cannot ignore anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, where was that turning point for you where like, holy fuck, man, I gotta switch some shit up. This isn't working for me anymore.
Yeah. Literally, like the last court case I went to, when I should have went to jail. Like I got caught with steroids 3 times. I really don't know why I didn't, and I should have went to jail. And then, you know, obviously the family, you know, my parents were almost split. Just due to stress and legal issues and all of that type of stuff. And then obviously the fact that basically my doctor said your kidneys and your liver are just like they're on the end. You know what I mean? Like it was so bad due to the orals that I was taking. Like I was pumping orals every day, which is no different to, you know, taking multiple tablets of MDMA every day or whatever it is. And I was doing that for years. So you could imagine how toxic it was. Like my urine was orange every day. Like no joke. I would wake up and I would just be so tired all the time. And I would smell. People even used to say like, you used to smell, because that's like, I was so toxic. And basically all those 3 in a combined shell, like once I got out of that court case and I was, you know, obviously I got hefty stuff, like I got criminal conviction, fines, all of that stuff, but I didn't actually go to jail. And I was just like, hang on, I think I just got let off. Like I got let off again. I need to change. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like God, he just saw one more bit of light in me. And ever since then, not to that day, like obviously I didn't just revolve around, I'm the human today, but to that day, I slowly chipped away. I'm never gone back down to that old Jaxon. So yeah. It was hard, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, and I haven't talked about this, but you hear of people going cold turkey on drugs. Like obviously I got off drugs after that court case. I tried it many times. I told my parents so many times, months on after that court case, I went off for a bit. I'd go in the gym a few weeks later. I'd get weaker, didn't look as good. And I'd just be like, I need that hit again. I did it 6 to 7 times before I fully haven't actually touched steroids. You know what I mean? So for people listening out there that are trying to get off drugs, it's not easy, but at the end of the day, you can get all the help you want. Your parents can be there for you. You can even get told by your doctor that you're going to die if you don't stop these, but you're the only one that can get off it. Do you know what I mean? And it's true, man. Like, I had my parents for years telling me, like, I would have to that's how I got caught. I would hide it in my bag. My mum knew. Like, she would search my room every day I went to the gym. And I just kept doing it. But it's not until I woke up and I was like, fuck, there's more to life. And I made that decision to get off. Not my parents, you know what I mean? So for anyone listening out there, like, yes, rehab works. Yes, your parents can tell you all of this stuff. They can be strict or whatever, but you have to want to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fucking powerful message.
That's
yeah.
full accountability. It's ownership of your life.
Yeah.
Because no one else is going to save you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the best thing I've ever done. Do you know what I mean?
That often is the way. The hardest thing I
Yeah.
ever do is the best thing I ever do.
Bro, I always say nothing good comes easy, and every time I like don't want to do something now, I do the complete opposite. So like I went for a run this morning. I did not want to do it. Like I would rather sit in bed and eat junk food. Like I'm just being honest. I'm a normal human. But as soon as I did it and I finished, I was just like, that's why I did it. I know why I did it now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just everything else becomes easy for the day, and it's people need to embrace that. They need to embrace that, or whatever's hard is probably good for you.
That's like our sessions. Like guys come in the morning, they get the hardest thing done, their workout, and then it finishes. We do our breath work, our meditation, we get our coffee, and they're like, no matter what comes up for the rest of the day, this is a good day. I just got that done. I feel
100%.
amazing.
Yeah. You say it all the time, you know, you win the morning, you win the day.
Yeah.
And it is true. You know, you become lazy, you stop your alarm, you don't do anything in the morning. Your day's probably just going to be average. Do you know what I mean? So
Anchors in the day.
And even just as you were saying, like supplementing yourself off drugs as well, it's like, don't come in and commit to fucking, you know, like, oh, I'm going to come in, okay, exercise is good, righto, 7 days a week, let's go. It's like, supplement yourself, hey.
You gotta ease into it.
Yeah,
Dip the toe.
Be kind on yourself there. Yeah. Well done. And yeah, even when like you're saying, people like telling you, you know, people can tell you. My parents were telling me, and no one likes to be told. Hey, no one likes to be told. You're way less.
I used to hate it. It's so weird. Like, my mum used to tell me every day, like, she could see me. She could see the physical changes. She could tell straight away when I was on, like, a so-called blast, which is, like, when you're using lots of steroids, and when you're off. Because she could see I had water retention in my face. I'd get puffy overnight. And she would sit there and look at me in the eye, and she'd be like, you're using, aren't you? And I'd lie to her day after day. And it was, do you know what I mean? I was like,
break her heart.
Yeah, it's like, this is not living, you know what I mean?
Did you feel that as well weighing on you, like a lie? Like, did that ever build up as a little bit of guilt or anything like that? Or
I did, but I didn't.
Were you kind of numb to...
I was numb.
Yeah.
I didn't... I obviously knew, I did know what I was doing. Like, I knew that I was lying to my mum. But because I was so obsessed and focused on my goal, which was looking the best, that outweighed being truthful to my mum to lying, which is crazy. Yeah.
What's your relationship with her now?
The complete opposite. Like, we're literally... like, we don't obviously see each other a lot. She's back in Sunny Coast. But we're just... Yeah, like, even her herself, she's like, fuck, you look awesome with your full body. Like, she didn't want me to get my first tattoo. Yeah. She's just like... It's you. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, I'm actually proud that you went through what you went through, because it's who you are today. Like, yeah, but this is what I mean. Like, everyone listening out there, like, I have so many people that they never turn their life around, but anyone can do it. Like, you can come out, I talk to some hard people, like criminals, like all this stuff. You can turn your life around. You can be living the worst life ever, but you can turn it around. Like, I just think people think once they're down a rabbit hole, or once they've gone too far down, they can't spiral back. But you can. You can turn your life around from anything.
How I'm going to go into, like, your purpose now is clearly surrounding, to try and provide insight in towards your life, so that people don't have to go down the same path that you did to realize that maybe this isn't the best decision. And so when it comes to how do you spread that message, like you're doing podcasts, And then once you do spread this message, what's the integration process? What are you doing to nurture these people in their process of, like you said, it takes time to get yourself off? Or is there a group that you get together where you're all in it together, like an accountability group, like, yeah, brothers, yeah, sisters, whatever, like, we're in this, like, you know?
Not really, because like it's just more me spreading my message, because it's not like I'm helping 5 to 10 people. Do you know what I mean? I'm literally getting hundreds of messages about steroids. Yeah. So it's like I just keep putting out the content, and I think that's all I can do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. I'm wondering if there's an aftercare program there.
I think it's like,
I'd love to get into that space, but that's a great idea. You know what I mean? But it's something I need to think about and structure it, and because my goal is to get on stage around the world and just to get into schools. Do you know what I mean? I just want to help, because school is where everything happens. Teenagers, that's where everything, the crowd you hang around.
How old were you when you first started in GT?
Like that 17, 18, and you know, like that year 10 to 12, when you just want to impress girl, everyone goes through it. And I feel like if I can get into the school at that stage and just tweak someone's mindset, I think that's where it's not like, I need to, you know, there's the odd person that I want to reach out to that's older, but it's not like I need to go in and speak to 40-year-olds to get off steroids. How many 40-year-olds on steroids? Do you know what I mean? It's all the younger
prevent them
generation
from actually using it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the best thing to do is just to keep doing what you're doing, because the best way to spread your message is the content. Yeah. If people see someone, like we said, you don't like being told what to do. So if you just keep leading by example, they'll just look up to you and want to be like you.
And at the end of the day, I can't help everyone. Do you know what I mean? But all I say is if I put out a podcast or whatever it may be, if it just helps one person, that's all I can do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to sit there and help every teenager to probably not do it, because I know that they're not going to enjoy it later on in life. But that's not possible. It's physically not possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's out there.
But that's why, you know, even coming to your events and maybe speaking openly, and you just got to get out there more.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing as well. Like, if people are aware of your mission and what you're doing, and then it's like, that's going to draw a certain type of person in who is like, you know what, fuck, I've been meaning to see this guy. Here's my opportunity.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, which is so beautiful. Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about. Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, what is your end goal? Like, what is your ambition with brotherhood? So what do you want out of this? I want to ask that. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's the same.
I know what you want, but I'm trying. Yeah.
Similar to you, we want to get into the schooling system and push our message. Not really pushing like about peddling, but our message is to create better brothers, fathers, uncles, better men across the world, because we believe that men will be the ones that change the world for the good. And that's pretty much, we're just trying to one by one build better men to be better partners, better brothers. All we're saying is that just build better men to make a better world, because if we can just continue to push our message like you do the same thing, if we can just slowly reach one person at a time, over time, this will compound. This will be across the world, and we'll just make an amazing, loving,
100%.
open, healthy, masculine world. Like, the community of men that come together will then be able to nurture the feminine, nurture the females of the world, have this beautiful bond, this beautiful union, and it's like, it's a big dream, but I know we can do it.
You can do it. Bro, I'm the exact same. I got some big dreams, but man, I love it. Like, if your dreams don't, like, you know. How do you say? If your dreams don't scare you,
you're not dreaming big enough.
It's true, but like, man, I got some crazy dreams, and I tell people, and they're like, "There's no way," and I'm like, "I've literally manifested it. Like, Like, I'm literally going to be talking to Joe Rogan in 2 years. Like, I don't care. Like, and I know that's not the end goal, but I'm just saying that's a big goal for me.
Yeah,
and
it's legit on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But I think the other thing is, men need to. What you're doing is it's so many men out there struggling, so many fathers, so many single dads, and what you're doing, like, there's so much mental health issues around men and suicide and all of this, and I think what you're doing, bringing men together, and also knowing that it's okay to let your emotions out. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I got brought up as a kid to be the typical man where you don't cry. You know, you're the man, like everything's tough. But yeah, yes, to a degree, but then I never cried. I never cried for years because I thought if I cried when I was younger, my dad would smack me and he'd say, don't cry. So I'd be like, so something would happen, like I would, you know, I'd break up with my ex. I was so disheartened, but I wouldn't cry because I thought I wasn't allowed to. And I feel like this is what men need to realize, is that not just about crying, but it's okay to just be yourself and let your emotions out. And yeah, we're no different to females. Why are they allowed to cry and we're not? Do you know what I mean?
It's right to feel the emotions and then handle them. Like, we're trying to teach men how to handle the emotions, because
handle.
If you have the emotions just rapidly flow through you without you having a grip on it, you'll do outlandishly silly things. You'll do things you'll regret later. But if you can feel your emotions, feel into them, ask yourself, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? Backtrack to the actual stem of it, have it under control. You'll then be able to live your whole life feeling to the fullest and handling it in the most precise way, so you don't make silly rash decisions, so you don't go and hurt other people. You can feel while you're feeling, deal with it like a man, because we do feel emotions, but we do need to have them under control and deal with them. Don't suppress them, face them head on.
And this is why we both want the same impact. If you can slowly get this out there, you can impact thousands, if not millions of men. Do you know what I mean? Just with a different message. And I think that's why the podcasting it's a powerful tool, man. Like it really is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's for me personally anyway, it's like there's no race. There's no competition.
Yeah. And I'm the exact same. Yeah. There's so many people out there that are in competition. Yeah. Like, for example, I know so many people that are successful with their podcast. They won't jump on another podcast because they're scared of that might grow. Do you know what I mean?
It's
like,
crazy.
That's literally, so like, I have people that would be like, okay, well, if I jump on your podcast, that's going to maybe grow your insights. So that makes my podcast go down a level. I think the complete opposite. Yeah. I'm on here. That's a growth mindset, right? We bring cross traction. We have different audiences. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking my value. I want to hear yours. Let's fucking uplift. Let's level up together.
Collaborate. Let's collaborate.
Yeah, but with the right people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But touch on what you were. Yeah. No, competition is there should be no competition with anyone in life. You are your own competition. Do you know what I mean? There's 7 billion people on this world. 7 billion people, and if you think that, because there's no competition, you know what I mean? Let's all just uplift each other, and this world would be such a fucking better place.
Abundance, 100% abundance mindset.
It would be. Could you imagine if everyone just complimented one another, said hi, was never rude, was kind? Like when you just walk down the street, could you imagine? Like if no one ever was in competition, they were kind, they supported you, they checked in on you. I couldn't imagine what the world would be like. It'd be crazy.
I'm kind of the same. I'm kind of the same. It's like, geez, would it be that perfect society where it's like, oh shit, well, what's left to fucking face now?
But you start doing cooler shit, you know? Say, all right, we've handled the problem of dealing with each other. Let's start handling the problem of let's build freaking jetpacks that fly us to Mars and stuff.
But I feel like it's a spiral effect. I feel like because there's like the likes of us guys that are slowly speaking out like this, I feel like it's like a ripple effect. If we can get more people on it, I reckon within 5 years we can change the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I reckon the shift is like occurring. It is occurring.
It is.
And whether it's like we said, it's not a race. It's just a gradual growth, but it compounds. Like you said earlier. And like when it came back to what for me, like my intention with brotherhood has been throughout this whole journey is for my son's sons to graduate brotherhood. And when I say graduate brotherhood, it's like instead of maybe approaching the schooling system trying to get into their education system, it's like let's cultivate one for ourselves where it's a more conscious like approach towards it, you know?
It's powerful.
Yeah, and it's like, and it takes me out of it. That's why I'm not in a race, because it's like, well, it's outside of me. Yeah. I don't expect to receive the fruits from my lifetime.
Yeah, that's the greatest thing. The man that can plant a tree not expecting shade from it.
Oh yeah,
that's powerful. Yeah. But when you make it a race, I think you actually, you don't get ahead as far because you're so focused on the numbers or,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you say, like, don't focus on the money, like, enjoy the process. And it's true, like, if you enjoy this brotherhood process, everything will come organically.
Totally.
But if you're like, oh, I need 2 new members this week, and it's not the right energy.
It's totally. It puts a lot of stress on. I've found because I was like that, and I'm slowly trying to.
We've all been
phase
like
this
that.
out. Yeah, it's like a trust that you have with yourself. It's like, hey, I'm doing the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Each and every day, I'm still trying to live my life at the same time, and because there's times where in that balance when you can go so hard at one thing that you actually neglect yourself.
Yeah.
And I've been there too. And it's like it didn't take me long to realize fuck I need to snap out of this, but
Yeah.
it's a real balance for sure. Okay, I want to go into more of like you said you want to like speak in schools and you want to
Speak across the world.
yeah, like you want to be
That's
on
the
Joe
end goal.
Rogan. Like, do you have any other big ambitions like that as well?
I just want to leave this earth with a powerful legacy and impact that I know that I've helped thousands of lives. And I think that's the best way to do it, is starting like this. And it's small steps, you know what I mean? It's starting, like my podcast to start, no views, no traction. I'm not saying I'm the best, but it's, you know, I'm getting well known. I'm starting to get big guests. It's only been 2 years. In another 2 years, why can't I be one of the most powerful men speaking on this earth? Why? Do you know what I mean? Well, we're all the same. Like it's gonna be hard. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but yeah, I've just got such a different mindset now to what I used to be that I'm like, I just want to see how far I can take it now, because I used to do absolutely nothing. It's like I'm the complete opposite now. It's like I just want to see what I can do in this day. Like I just want to see what I can have a crack at, because maybe I'm not here tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird change of mindset, but it's cool. Yeah.
So you want to serve the world, something bigger than yourself. I think a massive goal for inside every man is wanting to build something or serve that's bigger than themselves. I feel like that's what the path you're on now. You want to make something that's a legacy that's bigger than yourself. It's going to serve the world. Once you're gone, it'll still be serving.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, we can only have a crack, and that's all we can do.
Love that attitude too. Like, might as well try it.
Too many people are hard on themselves. As you said, you can only be the best version of yourself. If you know every single day that you've truly just had a decent crack and you've given it your all, regardless of if your analytics don't match it or you don't have this many friends or whatever, you should feel completed and fulfilled that you've just given it your all on the day, regardless of everyone else's opinion. And you know what I mean? That's what I do now. I block out most stuff, and I just know that if I truly just give it my all, that's all I can do. You know what I mean? That's all we can do. So,
and I love because like you're coming on these podcasts, you're giving your message for free. Like no one is paying a dime for that. Like when you talked about your clients earlier, I even wondered. I'm like, oh, these like guys that are trying to get off steroids, or are you like mentoring them through this process, or that's where that came to me.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you're talking about like PT clients, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is a perfect little, like this is a cool mix like that you've got going on. I've got clients here and I got these clients, you know. I would wondered for your mission to outlast you, that's going to require a team, right? That can't always be Jaxon Tippet.
yeah.
How do you see that?
How do I see, like...
Yeah, how do you see your legacy continuing after you're gone?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that. I suppose someone will be doing what I'm doing based off listening to what I did and teaching them the way that I have taught them, that maybe there's another Jaxon out there once I pass away that is... That's a good question.
Perhaps
You've
the
got me
content,
stunned.
the content
But
will live forever.
I feel like someone will go down the path that I did. They'll listen to my message, and then I would have inspired them to just literally do what I do. But it could be thousands of people do that. And it just keeps like tripling over, you know what I mean? Like it's like same as you, like when you leave, you want to know that there's 2 other guys out there that are running a nice facility for men and brotherhood and people. That doesn't just diminish. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Potentially my son's son might come on board.
That's what I mean.
Family legacy.
Yeah, and that's what it comes back to,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I don't know if I'm going to have family or not, but, you know, hopefully my son, like, that's what I feel, yeah.
And like maybe like by the time that happens, then you are, you know, you're on your deathbed or whatever, you know, you pass. And fuck, what a beautiful thing to know that, like, fuck, I helped contribute my piece towards steroids not even being a thing where my son is raised and he does, what the fuck, steroids, Dad?
Yeah.
What the fuck is steroids? Like, what a perfect intention that would be.
Amazing world to
That would
play.
be the most fulfilling thing, laying on your deathbed, knowing that you've impacted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you've contributed
But
towards
so many
that.
people think they're different, but like that, I'd be happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be content, do you know
For
what I mean?
sure, man.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you would just fade away and you'd be like, oh, nice.
You're a real, to me, it's like a real confident go-getter. Like it's very, everything you've said is like, why not? Why can't I just have a crack? What's your advice to people? Because so many people are so scared to even put themselves out there, but you are just day in, day out, putting yourself out there. How'd you start that? Where did that come from?
Embrace the journey. The human mechanism it's crazy. People don't realize us as humans what we can actually do, like physically, mentally. Like if you tap into your mindset and you truly believe in yourself and you surround yourself with the right people and you put these goals and all of these visions into perspective, you virtually can do whatever you want. Like it's pretty crazy. Like I've done a lot of stuff where my mindset hasn't been right and I don't achieve anything. But then I've had like, this is just a random example. I have been doing ice bath every night. Every single night for the past few months. Shout out to Recovery Lab Bundle, but I'll be using yours soon.
Sorry, recovery.
I started out.
But no,
I started out. Do you put your head under?
For sure, at the end,
Yeah.
man. Love it.
So everyone I've been like, because I sit there and there's people beside me. No one ever puts their head under, and I was like, one day I was just like, I just put my head under. I'm not gonna lie.
Felt like it's
I felt like my heart was gonna explode. I went for like 2 seconds. Bro, I'm up to like literally like 3 minutes under the water. Really? Like it's that crazy. Like I take a deep breath and I'm under the water. I remember when I first started out, I was just agony for 10 seconds. I'm under there now and I'm like, it's enjoyable. It's so fucking weird, bro. I sit there and it's actually part of the day I enjoy. I sit there and I don't know. I sit there I did 3 minutes last night and I'm like, I'm just visioning over my day and I'm like, but I'm under this ice freezing bath. And what I'm trying to say is like, it's just crazy what the body can do if you believe in yourself. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think that's massive because everyone like can do an ice bath and everyone can do this hard stuff, but it's the belief.
Yeah.
If they believe they can't, then they can't.
But that's what it comes back to, believing in yourself and backing yourself. Too many people doubt themselves. So once doubt enters the mind, you're already done. Do you know what I mean? So if you go jump in an ice bath after this and I go, nah, it's way too cold, I'm done.
Yeah.
But if I had to change that mentality to, yeah, it's going to be real bad, but even if I do 30 seconds, I've won over. Do you know what I mean? And that's what people need to change their mentality to.
Steps.
Yeah, small steps.
Yeah.
As you said, it's all about starting. You didn't just get this facility straight away. You were doing it on the beach, correct? Yeah. And then you slowly. How many members did you have at the start? Maybe 1, 2.
Bro, I think we went 2 months without a member.
That's what I mean. And you could have just
In the rain.
But you know what I mean? You could have threw in the towel there.
For sure, man.
You could have been like, it's just not getting any traction. It's not working. Fuck this. And now you've got your own facility. What's it going to be like in 2 years? You could have multiple facilities around the world. Do you know what I mean? But this is how a true person should think. And everyone's the same. Like, everyone should think like this. I just feel like so many people are just setting themselves too short in life. Do you know what I mean? They're just so comfortable doing nothing, which is what I used to do. But that's okay. There is some people out there that they just want to live that life, and I don't bash them. But what I'm trying to say is, you would actually enjoy it if you had a crack and you took some risks, and do you know what I mean? It's
What were
weird.
your first steps? Your first kind of like having a crack? How'd you
So I
start
was
it?
thinking it must be the modelling, hey?
What do you mean by that?
Like, you're very confident and you put yourself out there. How'd you first start getting jobs for modeling? How'd you first start getting gigs for that?
Oh, I literally grinded, bro. So I remember back when I used to sit in my bed at night, I made it a goal I would just message like 10 companies. This is before I had anything. I would message, I said this on a podcast a few years ago. I would message 10 different companies every night. So I'd message like a clothing, a skincare, CBD, supplements, sunglasses, skincare, but pick 10 every single night. I made it a goal. And I would obviously have my write-up. Hey, I'm Jaxon Tippet, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'd have like almost like my resume, but just a little write-up. And then I would send that and I would get denied I got denied for months, because people like, they want the following, they want this, they want that. And they'd be like, well, why will we pick you over someone else? And I kept cracking. I went and paid for some photographers, and I wasn't getting anything back. I was actually putting money into it. Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
then I slowly got better at modeling. Like, I slowly got better at content. I slowly got more confident in front of the camera. I slowly got the odd little brand go, we'll send you a shirt. And it literally was just like a compounding effect to the point where I remember when Culture Kings replied and they're like, do you want to do some paid stuff for us? And I think I spent like 10 grand on videographers. So what I would do is I'd buy their clothes, I'd pay for videographers, and then I would send Culture Kings the content in the hopes of they would go, okay, we want you representing our stuff. I did that for months and months until it finally cracked. And then I was like, I can truly do this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is it didn't come easy.
Nah.
And then
You
a
had
lot
that
of people,
belief. You consistently
a lot of
held that
people
belief.
look at me and they say, oh, you just got all these brands handed to you. They didn't see, literally for a year, 10 brands every night. Yeah. So like, I'm talking thousands of brands I contacted and got denied by 99%. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you just knew that was your goal. You knew this is what I want to do, and you just stuck at it. And you just stuck at it, and that's resilience.
I think, and not just talking about modeling. I think anything in life, especially training, like because I have a lot of clients. If you just stick at it,
100%,
bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I haven't really changed shape in years, but I still stick at it. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
Something for this as well.
Yeah.
Consistently good. You're just consistently working on it.
Yeah.
Consistently working on it.
Any big successful person or celebrity or icon that you see, there's some that are genetically gifted. They get stuff handed to them. But anyone that you see that is like truly successful and all of that, I guarantee you they've done something you haven't done. They've worked their ass off.
They've hustled.
And you know what I mean? And then you have these people that hate on them. But what are they hating for? They're hating because they want to live that life.
Yeah.
Unlucky for them that they're living in that state of jealousy, hey?
How do you intend on sharing that inner strength to others that feel lost?
Just know that there's someone out there that cares about you, and that there's someone that if you message them or whatever, that they care for you. Do you know what I mean? I think people that get like mental health issues or depression or suicidal thoughts, they think that nobody cares for them. They think that there's no one there for them. And I used to do the same. Like, because there's a lot of people out there, they don't get anyone checking in on them on a day-to-day basis.
And they've got their own lives to live as well. Like, they can't be thinking about you all the time as well. So it's nothing against them either.
Yeah, there's so many people out there that don't have a mum and dad, so they don't actually have anyone to. They just live in their house by themselves, and they feel like there's no one there that loves them. But I guarantee you, there's so many people that love you. And if you reach out, like there's so many good humans like yourself that will give you the time of the day. And I feel like that's the key to stopping mental health issues and suicide and all of that. It's a bit of a different answer, but do you know what I mean? Just feel like you're not alone. That's what I want you to feel.
Community is the biggest thing.
Community.
100%. Everyone would have noticed that over COVID. Like, there's so many new communities now because everyone's felt so lost and isolated during those years where we couldn't really group up. And now communities are huge across the Gold Coast especially. Yeah. And that's like...
Does Will still come here?
Will Hitchens.
Yeah.
He's actually taking a break from us at the moment, but he's still doing his podcast and stuff.
Yeah. He's still in our community.
What I was going to say is when I did a podcast with him, he said without your brotherhood, that was his...
initiation.
That was his... how do you say it? That was his... I'm lost for words.
Would it be his initiation into like how he could...
That numbed him away from the alcohol. Right. So he said he used to wake up and he'd literally start drinking. And he's like, now I wake up and I go to the brotherhood. I'm around the right people. And he's like, I never used to wake up at 4 or whatever AM it was. And he's like, now I embrace it. So you were the impact of him not being an alcoholic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, such a success story.
It's crazy, man. Like, community's everything. Like, you're helping a lot of people's lives that they look forward to coming to these sessions, and without these sessions, they might be lost. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Legit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys there.
It's a big thing. Like people, dudes especially, they think that they have to do this all on their own.
Yeah.
But we've always notoriously been known for working with tribes, with packs, with teams. We've always been a group of men kind of thing throughout history. But all of a sudden lately, people think that you have to be this lone wolf. You have to handle things on your own. But nah, bro, you're way stronger in a group. You can come to us and confide. We can tell you when you're full of shit and you're doing the wrong thing. We can tell you when you're doing great.
And that's where it comes back to not being competitive and teamwork.
You're exactly right, brother.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like, if you think you're a lone wolf and you're going to... If I think I'm a lone wolf and I'm going to fuck off everyone, I'm just going to speak to Joe Rogan in 2 years, it's not going to happen. I need to work. I need to do this podcast, so maybe one of your people listen to it. We need to work as a community to get to the highest level.
Yeah. Good luck going into battle solo.
Yeah.
Right. You go.
Where's your fucking...
You know what I mean?
You know? So, yeah, man. I've got... That sort of like segues nicely into a question I have for you as well is, besides yourself, who has been your greatest mentor?
My family.
Yeah.
My mum and dad.
Yeah, nice.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they raised me, so without them, I wouldn't even be sitting here talking. And I don't care what you say. Nobody compares to your parents. At the end of the day, they truly are the only ones, unless they're passed away, unfortunately. Yeah. They're the only ones that are going to be there for you. Not even best friends. Yeah. And it's true. Like, I've seen it. You could have the bestest of best friends. You might not be best friends with them in 10 years.
Family's blood, hey?
It's blood, bro. If you don't respect your mum and dad, you're fucked in the head. Do you know what I mean? And
Straight up. Real talk.
And I used to be fucked in the head.
Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong if you're treating your parents with shit when they raised you. Do you know what I mean? And I can't think of anything else to say other than that. Like, they're everything. And
that even leads into like, you can like the sadness behind holding guilt towards the way that your parents didn't raise you to this pedestal that you've put them on. It's you know what I mean? It's like that is only hurting you.
Yeah.
It's only hurting you. It's only holding you back.
And they did, like, your parents, it's hard because the conversation can be had now, oh, well, I had really terribly horrible parents to me. And they did the best that they could with the tools that they mentally and physically had. And if they had better parents too, they could have raised you better. So you have to break the chain, look to them for lessons, not necessarily say, hey, I love you because you treated me like shit. Like, I love you because you did the best you could.
Yeah.
I'm going to break the chain now and become an even better parent than you.
Man, this is powerful. Like, you know what I mean? Say I got treated like shit growing up. I could hold that on forever. And I would, when I have my family, I'd be super strict. I wouldn't let my son cry. I'd treat them like shit. But then my son will do that too. But if I break that stigma,
broken the mold,
do you know what I
guys.
mean? And that's
You're
why
doing
you
the
said
work.
you want to raise the family. It's like, it's got to be broken somewhere.
You got to break the
You know what I
chains,
mean?
Stephen.
It is, and you're doing it, and that's where the shift is coming from, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where
powerful.
Yeah, because and good on you. You know, you're in it. You're doing the work. You're fucking doing the healing for not only for yourself, but for your family. You're for your parents, but also your sons. Your son's sons. Because can you imagine, like what our sons' sons are going to be like when they're having this just
That's what I mean.
liberated
Make-believe
fucking
dolls.
journey to. Yeah, it's gonna be brilliant.
They'll be good men. They'll be good men.
They'll be okay.
We can hope. We can only hope. One last question, and this is totally obviously up to you how you want to answer it. But what does masculinity mean to you?
Being comfortable in your own body. That's and obviously that's I could answer that question for 20 minutes. Yeah. But just being comfortable within your own body where
You're embodied.
yeah, you're embodied, do you know what I mean? Like you are yourself, being comfortable with your physical features, being comfortable just knowing that you're beautiful and that like everyone is different on this earth and you can't compare yourself to others, and just being comfortable within your own body and soul and just loving yourself. There's so many people out there that never love themselves, ever. Do you know what I mean? I never used to love myself, ever. And I still have days where I'm very hard on myself, but I truly just like, regardless of what anyone says about me or my past or judgment or whatever, I know that when I walk down the street now, I love myself, and that's all that matters. It's such a simple thing, but it's so hard to do. Do you know what I mean? So many people never do it.
And that's like back to your thing. You spoke on like happiness and stuff, and happiness is felt inside. You create your own happiness. You know,
the happiness isn't from an outsource.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what we spoke on at the start. Yeah,
It's hard. It's something that we could do a podcast just on loving yourself. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it's crazy. Like, do you two love yourself? Like,
fucking oath.
and how did
Love
you
the shit out of myself.
all the time? Like, have you loved yourself from day one?
No.
But that's what I mean. How did you transition? Maybe did you have a point in your life where you're like, okay, I need to love my, or was it things you implemented? Because I think that's a strong message to finish with is there's so many people that are going to be listening that they don't love themselves, and I know. Yeah. But how can we maybe help them love themselves?
I know the first way that I started to do it was just going to the gym. I was just taking care of myself physically, because when I started taking care of myself physically, I needed to start feeding myself better. I started to feel better, more confident. I started to see myself physically as how I felt mentally. I'm like, okay, I feel good, I look good. I started to understand that, like, okay, I look pretty good now, and it's not the be-all, end-all. There must be more to it. So I started to look into, you know, how if I felt that way, then a lot of other people felt that way. And then I started to empathize with other people and started to open up from this, like, scared little shell to, like, open up. And if I could be the best version of myself every single day, everyone else is just trying to do the same thing. And then I realized, like, oh, we're all literally just trying to do the same thing with the same problems.
Literally.
That's it.
Yeah. That's strong. Did you have anything that you...
the more I think about it, it's like loving yourself is like I've always felt like I've been pretty kind towards myself. You know, I haven't bashed myself and said, oh fuck, you're shit guy, or you know, like that nasty talk that you would give yourself. Like, I
think loving yourself also comes down to not comparing yourself. Yeah, legit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're constantly comparing yourself, you're never gonna love yourself because you want to be someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like man, we could talk for years. Like, I love this shit. You know what I mean?
That's great, bro. Yeah. Where can like people continue to get in touch with you? Like, obviously, all your content and stuff that you're putting out. Like, drop your handle there.
Yeah, just my IG, because it's got my link in there with my website, which is I am Jaxon Tippet. I'm sure you'll leave it in the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Chuck it here somewhere.
No, just if anyone's listening, like, yeah, just know that you're not alone. You can reach out to myself or the Brotherhood. That's why we're doing this. Do you know what I mean? If you have any questions, I will literally get back to anyone if it's, you know, about mental health or drug-related issues. If it's an appropriate question, I'll get back to anyone. And if you did enjoy this, all of my audience, can you go give these two guys a follow and the Brotherhood? And just, I know it sounds simple, but us as like content creators, I'm going to kind of call it that. Support is everything. And I know it's not all about followers and that, but a simple follow to your community, a simple like and a simple share, it takes nothing out of your day. It's free, but it really helps us as people that are trying to put out more value. It really, really helps us. Do you know what I mean? So please show some love to them and myself. And this is what we want. We just want to uplift each other. Don't look at us as competition. Look at us as, if you support us, we're going to support you back. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking oath, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said that more perfectly. Yeah, you nailed that, bro. Just thank you for that as well. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, and can't wait to do my first ice bar.
That was good.
Awesome stuff, brothers. Hey, just to wrap up, thanks so much for joining us on the Brotherly Love podcast. We will be back rapid fire with another one. Thank you for coming on, Jaxon Tippet.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys.
Should we do the 3-way handshake?
What's that?
You give me a hand and you put a hand on.
And then I'll grab yours.
Brotherhood.
That's brother right there. Big love team. See you next week.